Well, it's a nasty day here in Alabama. It's rainy, cold. We've got some heavy rain, no thunderstorms or anything like that, just some rain. So I just hit the reset button today, and I'm just hanging out the house, taking care of a few things. Been hard at it after these gobblers for over a week now, since public land season opened up. Managed to take one. Hopefully, in the next day or so, I'll get another one. Um, got some trips planned, out of state, not out of state, but in state, coming up. So um, I want to talk about today is something I actually used a couple days ago, and that's tracking gobblers. Something that I don't know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people scout and stuff like that, and they see turkey signs scratching. Oh, it's a turkey been here, but use that to your advantage. Almost sealed a deal on one a couple days ago, tracking, and ended up just for whatever reason he was further away than I could get contact with him. But I did hear him. Um, and basically, what you're looking for is linear scratching that's solitary or in pairs. And linear, I mean, it's got a path to it. It's not up along the side of a hill where it's just a big circular mound of scratching. You're looking for single scratch marks, followed by single scratch marks, followed by single scratch marks that are either individual or in pairs. The pairs are usually a sign that you've got two subordinate gobblers that are working together. Um, because safety in numbers, if you've been beat up by jakes, you're going to have a buddy with you to keep you protected, or a lone gobbler who's maybe the dominant gobbler who's separated from his hens. He didn't have hens with him. The hens are on nesting right now. They're taking care of their nest. They don't have him in mind right now, and he is lonesome and he's walking through the woods. And usually they're not on a mission. They don't know where they're going, but they're going somewhere, and they have to feed along the way. Creek bottoms are really good places to find these, because they do need water as the season warms up. Um, there's more of a need for thermoregulation and water. So creek bottoms. 2 years ago, walking along a creek bottom, hit some fresh scratching. Didn't discount it. Followed it, scratching here, scratching there, 60 yards, pile of poop, fresh. 50 more yards, decided to hit my call, hit a little soft yelp. Boom. 80 yards away. And in 2 minutes, that turkey was at the end of my gun barrel dead. So when you're walking through the woods, don't just discount the scratching. Use it like you would a deer track if you were going to track a deer. Um, you could dry ground tracking deer the same way. You're looking for the punch marks in the ground, and turkey's the same way. Except turkey leaves more of a calling card. They've got a big scratched out spot there. So um, when you're scouting, when you're in the woods, you're doing your calling, pay attention to that scratching on the ground. Sometimes it can really, really help you out. And like I said, this was passed down to me. My family, I didn't really grow up in a hunting family, but I begged and begged and begged when I was younger, 8, 9 year old, for my grandpa and dad to take me turkey hunting. And so when they did, when we went out in the fall, we were looking for scratching. It was very few times that we went, but when we did, I remember them looking for that scratching, and we tracked a flock of gobblers up one day and killed one of them. And I was probably like 9 years old, and that just stuck with me. So when I started hunting and really, really like trying to focus my craft and my woodsmanship a little more, I really started applying that, tracking the turkey, into my arsenal. And especially it's especially vital as the season progresses, because you will get those tandem pairs of gobblers that are just scratching through the woods, and you'll get that individual lone gobbler that's off to himself, that's just cruising through the woods. And pay attention to that, and pay attention to the direction he's going, and don't just discount it. And it'll give you a heads up, I promise. So there's going to be some videos of just kind of what I was looking for in the woods when I found that gobbler the other day, and hopefully this will help you out in some way. So one thing that I've hit some scratching here in the leaves.
One thing that I was taught by guys that kind of mentored me in turkey hunting back in the day is when you find linear paths of scratching, once the hens are starting to roost, or starting to nest rather, once hens are starting to nest, you find these linear pairs of scratchings going up hillsides or down. That's more than likely a pair of gobblers or one gobbler. If you find scratching that goes vertically, like across the side of a hill, almost like your hen watching the hillside, that's hens. They'll kind of veer left and right, and gobblers will kind of stay in a straight path. So when you hit these linear little patches where there's a little scratching, a little more scratching, and usually you'll get them in pairs, and that's usually two gobblers together, and they're kind of working in tandem, going up these ridges over. You can almost track them. So scratching left to right in patches up the hillside is usually hens. Linear up hillsides, down hillsides, along ridge tops that are in linear nature and scattered, that's your gobblers. They tend to scratch a little bit, walk, scratch a little bit, walk. Hens will scratch, and they'll kind of stay in little pockets. There's some hen scratching. It's very scattered in nature. It goes all the way around the side of this hill and down. You can see it goes all the way back here and around. It's big patches. So it'll be a big patch of scratch out area. That's usually a hen. Gets in one spot. But when you see long linear lines up a ridge top, that's typically your gobblers. They're doing that. You get these kind of scattered patches where they're scratching. It's going to be your hens, of course.
So this is a gobbler that I tracked 2 days ago. I found his fresh sign at this point in time. Roughly tracked him up this ridge. He crested the top of this ridge about an hour to maybe hour and a half ahead of me. He dropped through 3 saddles on this ridge point before he eventually made it to the very top. At that point in time, I heard him gobbling, and by the time I got within range, he had dropped down to the little lower section of this ridge and then pitched across the creek, and that's where I ultimately lost contact with him roughly 30 minutes after I'd started tracking him. Hopefully this little video helped you out understanding exactly what I mean when I'm talking about tracking gobblers. Next time you're out there in the woods and you're walking along that old logging road, you hit some fresh scratching, track it. It doesn't hurt, and I guarantee you won't be upset if you end up tracking a gobbler and getting within range and killing him. I promise you that. And it's just another tool in your woodsmanship tool bag to go out there and try to chase these jokers with, because they're definitely you definitely need all the tools and all the help you can get. And anytime you can get a little advantage, take it. So I appreciate you watching, and good luck out there, guys.